So today we're going to be looking at 5 players the Indiana Fever could end up drafting in the WNBA draft. These are going to be kind of the players that might be expected of them to fall to number 8. And they're all players that I do think fills a need.
As GM of the Indiana Fever with the 8th pick in the 2025 draft, your decision is crucial. While you have 5 strong players to choose from, losing Kelsey Mitchell could set your team back. Focus on picking someone who can complement her game and help keep her around. The right pick is key, but keeping Kelsey is even more important.
Turns out that Kelsey Mitchell's gone and Liz Smith stays, and everything's out the window. And everything's absolutely out the window. You need like a guard that might be able to play beside Kate.
You're feeling the pressure as you look at your options. There's Aisha Sta, the star with potential but too many injuries, and she won't be available until 2026. Then there's Somia, the safe pick, Janaea Barker, the unpredictable wild card, and Anna Marrow, the consistent double-double machine. One wrong move could set your team back for years, but the right choice might just turn everything around. Now, let's talk about AZ Fudd. You've probably heard her name buzzing around, right? But when her name pops up in the war room, your heart skips a beat. Could this be the game changer the Fever's been waiting for? But wait, you need to think carefully before jumping in.
I don't see her, if she goes in this draft, really going in the first round. But if she stays healthy, if she can get herself healthy and stays healthy, it'll be...
Let's break it down. AZ Fudd's college career has been full of ups and downs. She's played in just 23 games over the last 2 years, which is less than half of what she could have played. That's a lot of missed time, and it raises some serious questions about her consistency and durability.
The season she's barely played, but she's only averaging 8.3 points. She only played 2 games last year. She only played 15 games the year before. Like, AZ Fudd has played in 23 games in 2 years. She has played in 48 games. 48 games in college. Jesus.
You might think a fresh start in the pros could be what she needs, but there's a risk. What if those injuries follow her to the WNBA? Now let's talk about her shooting. You'd expect a top prospect to be hitting threes consistently, but here's the catch. Fudd has only shot 34% from beyond the arc in her last 15 games. Not exactly what you'd hope for from a player with that kind of potential.
She was good as a freshman, but since her freshman season, you're looking 34% from 3 through 15 games, 28%, and she will only shoot wide open off the catch and shoot.
Here's where it gets tricky. Some experts are sounding alarms about Fudd's potential in the pros. Her injury history and inconsistent performance could make her a risky pick for any team. Can you picture the Fever rolling the dice on Fudd, only to be left with another season of what-ifs and empty seats? That's a lot of uncertainty for a team already looking for stability.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a dumb front office that takes AZ Fudd in the first round. I don't think it'll be Indiana, but I'm just might as well put her in as a tiny bit of a chance.
You might be wondering if there's any upside to picking Fudd. Sure, there's a chance she could overcome her injuries and become a star. It's happened before in the WNBA. But is that a risk the Fever can afford to take? Now, just when you think we've covered everything with Fudd, hold on. Let's shift gears and talk about AA Siva. This isn't just any prospect, she's a unicorn. A 6'3" guard who can shoot like a sniper and handle the ball like a point guard. That's a rare combo, and she could bring a whole new dynamic to your team.
Yeah, you've got Aisha Sivka, who is a 6'4", 6'3" sniper who can play a bit of defense. Isn't probably ready to play in the WNBA right away, but she's 19.
Siva might not be ready to play in the WNBA right away, but get this, she's only 19. That's right, just 19, which means she's brimming with potential, the kind that gets scouts excited and GMs losing sleep. But here's the big catch. Siva won't be able to step onto a WNBA court until 2026. So the real question is she worth the wait? Let's break it down. Picture this, Siva and Caitlin Clark on the court together, 2 sharpshooters, both over 6 feet tall. That's a deadly combo, and it could completely change the game for the Fever. But of course, you have to wait a few years.
That level of player, I just think that you can get a top 3 level talent at 8 if you're willing to just wait on her a little bit, and a perfect complementary player to Caitlin Clark. The problem is you have to wait.
Like a basketball fan's wildest dream, Siva and Clark on the court together, defense is trembling. But here's the catch, the Fever need help now, not in 2026 or 2027. Can they really afford to sit and wait for Siva to make her debut? It's like ordering the best pizza ever, but being told it won't arrive for 3 years. Sure, it might be amazing, but you're starting now. And let's not forget about the fans. They've been patient, watching the Fever struggle season after season. They want results, and they want them now.
Like, these players don't grow on trees, and Aja Sivka is one of them. It's just whether or not Indiana are willing to wait until, like, she's not going to come over next year. 2, I'm not even sure she's going to be ready in 2026. But I do think that if she was in college.
Can you imagine telling the fans, hey, we've got this incredible player, but you can't see her play for another 3 years? That's a tough sell, even for the most die-hard supporters. But what if Siva is the next big thing? What if she's the player who turns the Fever's fortunes around? It's a tempting thought, but remember, 3 years is a long time. A lot can change, and not all international players make a smooth transition to the WNBA. Just when you think we're done with the Caitlin Clark comparisons, think again. There's another player in this draft who's getting off some serious Clark energy.
I'm not gonna lie, if you told me that, like, they were cousins, you would not, like, no one will question it. Like, genuinely, they are, she is a slightly more tanned Caitlin Clark. They look so similar.
Enter Sonia Satrin, the Notre Dame standout who's been quietly making waves and getting everyone wondering, could she be the Caitlin Clark light that Indiana needs? Let's break it down. Satrin's averaging 13.7 points and 2.4 assists per game. Not bad at all. But here's where it gets interesting.
Okay, for Notre Dame, she's averaging 14, 5, 2.4 assists. Her shooting is kind of coming back. Like, she was shooting 25% from 3 for a while. Now she's back at the 36%. And in fairness, like, when it comes to her 3-point shooting, she has had a couple of, like, she's got her 3-point shot up a lot in games. Well, her percentage up in games that don't really count. And it's, like, looking passable right now.
Satrin is truly leveling up. Her defense is so disciplined, it's giving opponents nightmares. She's like a silent assassin on the court, constantly disrupting plays and making life miserable for anyone trying to move the ball.
And she's been a really good defender. I think she's a really disciplined defender. She's not going to go and, like, lock somebody down one-on-one. But what she is that she's a good off-ball defender. She makes it hard to get the ball if she's guarding you. And that's kind of what the Fever...
You might be thinking, okay, she sounds good, but where's the wow factor? Well, hold on, because we're just getting started. Imagine this. Satrin and Clark on the court together, 2 players who can defend, shoot, and make plays. Suddenly, the Fever's future doesn't seem so bleak, does it? But here's the million-dollar question. Is Satrin really the next Caitlin Clark, or are we getting a bit too excited? Some analysts are even calling her a better version of Lexi Hull.
I think I've said it from the start. I think she might just be a better Lexi Hull. Like, that's realistically what I would say for her. Is she is Lexi Hull with more.
Might not sound like high praise, but for a team like the Fever, it could be exactly what they need. A steady hand to help guide the team and get things back on track. Satrin's versatility is through the roof. She can step into any role the Fever needs. Need a scorer? She's got it. Looking for a lockdown defender? No problem. Need someone to set up plays? Satrin's your girl. It's like getting 3 players for the price of 1. But just when you thought you had the Fever's draft options figured out, here comes Janiah Barker to shake things up. She's got the height, she's got the athleticism, but there's one stat that's got everyone scratching their heads. Are you ready for this?
There is Janiah Barker, who I think this is one of those situations where it's like the idea of Janiah Barker might be better player. She is like lottery pick potential, but if she could be she's boomer bust.
Barker is a defensive powerhouse, and she could be the biggest gamble in the draft. At 6'4", she has the size to dominate, and her defensive skills are next level. Picture her locking down the opponent's best player, making highlight reel blocks, and changing the entire game with her presence.
A 6'4" wing forward who's actually a good defender, can handle it a little bit.
3-point shooting is so low, it might make you do a double take. And here's the kicker. She's not even starting for UCLA right now. You might be wondering, why on earth would the Fever even consider her? Well, here's the thing. Sometimes potential is worth the risk. Think about Kawhi Leonard. He wasn't lighting it up in college either, but look at him now. Could Barker follow the same path? It's a big gamble, but if it works out, she could be the next defensive superstar in the WNBA.
Regardless of everything that she has good going for her, I still think it's a tough one. It's a tough one really to use that pick on her. Use an 8 pick on someone who is boom.
No matter how much potential she has, I still think this is a tough decision. It's really hard to choose whether to take a chance on her or pick someone who's a boom or bust prospect. But if she can put it all together, we might be looking at a future all-star. So let's break it down. On one side, you've got a player who could completely change the Fever's defense, locking down opponents and sparking fast breaks. On the other side, you've got a project who might take years to develop, time the Fever might not have. It's a classic high-risk, high-reward situation.
Only problem is that she's not shooting the 3-ball at all. Shooting 45% in a year, but like she's barely. I get the Paul, she shot 25% on a much higher amount. I want to see, is there a total here? Like she's shooting, she's up to like just under a 3 a game in fairness, but like she hadn't even shot enough shots to qualify like 3 or 4.
Anna Mauro is currently averaging 18.3 points and 14 rebounds per game. You might be thinking, is this for real? I mean, those numbers aren't just stats, they're a statement. Mauro's not just playing the game, she's dominating it. But here's the catch, Mauro's rebounding is through the roof. She's grabbing boards like they're going out of style. But there's more to her game than just those eye-popping numbers. Let's dive into it.
And then if Nalissa Smith is gone and you don't get Satu, I think Anissa Mauro is a great player to have a power forward. She's currently averaging 18.3 points and 14 boards.
Last year, Mauro averaged 13.8 points and 12.2 rebounds per game. And she's posted a double-double every year of her college career. Imagine Mauro in a Fever jersey, snatching rebounds left and right. The crowd would go wild. But here's the million-dollar question. Can Mauro's inside game really translate to the WNBA? You've got players like Danana Bonner and Alicia Clark who prove you don't need a three-pointer to make an impact.
She is an elite rebounder. Like you look at all her seasons, like her 2 years at the Paul, 13.8, 12.2 rebounds a game. Last year, 10. She's averaged a double-double every year of her college career.
Is Mauro truly ready for the big leagues, or is she just feasting on weaker competition? Here's the thing. Consistency is key, and when it comes to Mauro, she's as consistent as they come. A double-double every year of her college career, that's not luck. That's skill. The kind of skill that could turn the Fever from pretenders to contenders overnight. So there you have it, folks. The decision isn't easy, but the potential is undeniable.
LSU as well, they do have the easiest schedule known to man. They're playing they're genuinely, outside of Stanford, who they beat in overtime, they're playing like they're 14-0 and they've had, the only ranked team they played was like, NC State or something. Personally, my pick for who it would be, I would take Anissa Mauro. If all of them were available, I'm taking Anissa Mauro because I just think that energy and rebounding is more important than what Citron does. Next, I would take Citron. I think Sivka has...
Hold on tight, because here's the real twist. No matter which rookie the Fever pick, it all comes down to one player, Kelsey Mitchell. You might be thinking, what about all those prospects we just talked about? Well, here's the deal. If Mitchell stays, the right rookie could turn the Fever into instant contenders. Fever fans, the clock is ticking, and the stakes couldn't be higher. This isn't just about picking a player. It's about shaping the entire future of the franchise. Who would you choose to help turn things around?